I got 8.0 for IELTS Writing, and here are my tips for writing part 1. While some might think that writing part 1 is easier because it only requires a minimum of 150 words, I personally believe that it requires more practice than writing part 2 due to the variety of question types that may appear. Nevertheless, the first sentence of your first paragraph should paraphrase the task. For example, this is how I would paraphrase this task. The graph illustrates the total number of visitors to a Caribbean island over a 7-year period. Meanwhile, the second sentence should give an overview of the given data. For example, if the graph shows an increase, you could write, overall, the trend shows an upward trend. Or if it's a map, you can say something like, the area has undergone significant development. Number 2, use the correct tense. If the data is from the past, use past tense. If it's ongoing, use present tense. From the sample answers in the IELTS practice books, many people lose marks for incorrect tense usage, so make sure you read the instructions and highlight the tense before you start writing. Next, make sure to use linking words. So words like next, following that, additionally, subsequently, in contrast, may increase your mark as it enhances the organization and flow. You should also group similar trends, meaning that if 2 or more data points are close in value, you can mention them in the same sentence. For example, Adelaide and Melbourne have a similar number of coffee buyers with roughly 48% in the last 2 fortnights. You may also use fractions to describe percentages. So instead of just giving numbers, you can say, for example, 1/3 of the respondents or 1/4 of the total sales. This will conveniently help improve your vocabulary score. Last but not least, manage your time wisely. Since part 1 requires only a minimum of 150 words, do not write too much and save more time for part 2. Writing too much in part 1 may increase your chance of grammar and spelling mistakes. Oh, and not to forget, conclusion is actually not needed in writing part 1. So once you've described the data, you're basically done. There's no need for a conclusion.